Good morning, everyone. Jim Clark here at the Synchronicity Sanctuary to share a contemplative focus with you today. And that focus that I want to share with you today is don't make assumptions. We all make assumptions about everyone and everything. We usually do not communicate what we're creating, it's just happening in our minds. But we act as if that was true. What we're thinking has some truth to it. So we basically act and react to a fantasy that we have created and we take it for real. And isn't this what we're seeing today more than ever? Where people are subscribing to this belief and that belief, they're not even aware that they are creating the realities that they are expressing or that they are reacting to. Huh? So this is a stage of illusion, and if there's ever a writer of opinions, it's your mind, and it's going to respond to whatever or whoever your attention is focused upon. And that's what it does. It's supposed to do that, and it does it immediately. It doesn't have to be taught this. In our enculturation process, when the moment we're born, we are being told things. Even when we can't understand the language itself, we're picking up impressions about what is and what is not, and what we like, what we dislike, and so forth and so on. And so from that, we go to school, and then we're taught more stuff that we subscribe to as true or not true. And this is an ongoing process that everybody goes through. Even if they don't go to school, they're going to be taught by the people in their lives to believe and accept one thing and to not accept or believe other things. It's a sorting process of, I believe this part of the illusion, but I won't believe or accept that part of the illusion. When in truth, it's all part of the illusion. And what is the stage for all this, the ground stage for all this play, of course, is state of being. And out of the being comes the becoming that we participate in as if that were real. And sorting that out cannot begin to happen unless you're a meditator, because meditation is the balancing technique wherein your awareness expands and you become more and more aware of the activities that you are taking part in mentally, emotionally, and physically every day and every moment of every day. So as you're going through your experience on a daily basis, if you're aware that whatever is going through your mind is a interpretation based upon who knows what you were taught when you were 6 or 12 or 25, etc., etc. So, and the interesting thing about, for me anyway, in this day and time where where the negative polarity is growing to a peak dominance on the planet to an extreme, the play in all this fantasy beliefs is more pronounced than ever. Everywhere you go, there are people saying things. There's so many opinions, but so little truth in all the media and all the information that's available in this day and time and place. If you're in America, is huge. There's never been more access to more information, and there's never been more illusion expressing itself as truth. It's just an opinion about this, opinion about that, and once in a while some gem will pop up that you subscribe to as being truthful, but is that really truthful? The ultimate truth is it's all illusion. We are a source consciousness. We're not human beings even. We're pretending to be human beings. We are consciousness pretending to be what it is not. That is the fundamental essence of all human experience right there. So, unless you're a long-term meditator, you won't have much contrast between your state of being and the activities going through your own mind, your thinking processes. But if you are, then it's much easier for you to be aware of the activities what of your own creation mentally that your mind is going through every day. And it's not a question of just having no mind, because to exist as a human being today, you really have to use your mind just to exist, especially in the West here. So it's more a question of what kind of mental activity are you encouraging and cultivating every day? Is it a fragmented type of thinking process, or is it a universal thinking process? Is unity a big part of what makes up your thought processes, or is it diversity? And this is something that our teacher brought out in terms of the evolutionary process of the human being, and that insofar as it has often been portrayed as stillness, but in his opinion, it was more often time not so much stillness, literally speaking, as it was universal movement in the mind, as opposed to fragmented movement in the mind. And that seems to be more real for me too. I've had moments of stillness, but it's not something that I experience every moment of every day. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to speak as I'm doing right now. I have to have something to go on, and some script, if you will, to present anything, anywhere, anytime. Even to just interact with people, which you do every day, you have to have something, some basis for that. But if the underlying basis for all your communication and all your learning is universal, it's unity, because you have expanded your awareness to the point where that is dominant in your experience, then the assumptions that come will be recognized for what they are. So wherever people are posting their opinions and expressing the realities that they take as that in the public, so it's just amazing. It's in some ways it's really a great example of how fragmentation works, because people have so many different opinions on so many different things that it's no wonder that the world is the way it is today. We think the theater of our own minds is something that's real. But we, as a whole, as a consensus consciousness on the planet, we don't see expressions of oneness happening publicly, do we? Unless we choose to see that wherever it's happening. And it is happening. People are expressing it in different ways in different times, but it is not the dominant expression on the planet by any means at all, at least not now. So the idea here, the point I'm trying to make here is just be your own conscious witness and become aware of the assumptions that you're making every day as a theater that you can enjoy but not take so seriously. I do this every day. I see and think things in the moment where something pops up in relation to a situation that's happening in your physical world. And you're going to respond to that, because that's what we do. That's how we survive. You don't cross the street without checking to see if there's something coming that could hit you. So you don't want to pretend like you can cross the street with your eyes closed and not have to worry about a thing. I guess if you're very evolved, you could do that, but I'm not going to subscribe to that or encourage anybody to try. It's it's a question of what is practical and what is real in your world, even as a meditator. To not step into fantasies that you can create even as a meditator, and what fantasies you can still be subject to in terms of your interactions with everyday life. A sound in the dark, an opinion expressed on some platform, and on and on and on. And the people you hang out with, the people you tend to socialize with, is that based mostly on truth, or is it based on what is entertaining to you? And the people you hang out with share that experience with whatever you do, wherever you go. That's a moment to relax and be entertained by a movie or a menu, and also just the company that you keep. We all have that. We all tend to be drawn to some personalities more than others, and we tend to congregate around what we are more congruent with in terms of our mental and social makeup. It's just normal human behavior, but it's still based a lot on assumptions that this is the way life should be. And if we're not meditating every day, if we're not moving beyond our own minds every day, then we are more likely to react to such people and situations as if that was real, a reality that was unto itself forever and should be taken as such. Where in truth, there are so many different realities happening in this country and anywhere in the world. Um, and one is no better than the other as long as it's an assumption. That's what it is. And a belief system. Belief systems, political, religious, whatever, populate the world and have since the dawn of humanity, and have been the cause of so much suffering, wars, and destruction, and so forth and so on, because we buy into the fantasies and assumptions that we have been taught, and we take it as real because it's taught to us in a way where we are told that this is what's real, and this is what's correct, and this is what you should believe in and subscribe to, and so forth and so on. So it's not something new, but it is something that it is outside of most people's awareness. They're not aware that they're making assumptions. They're not aware that they're living on assumptions that they've made when they were very young. And they're holding on to it because they haven't been through the process of diving deep into their own psyche and seeing where data that we hold within us is still active and still has some effect on our human experience that might be contraction and might be limiting in terms of how expanded we could be in any given moment. Because to me, the purpose of living a holistic lifestyle and meditation every day is simply to be as expanded and joyful as I can possibly be. Because it really comes down to the basic advice that my teacher, Master Charles Cannon, has told us all, that love begins with you. If you can't learn to love yourself, how can you love anybody else? And in truth, you can't. You can only express and share love to the extent that you do that with yourself. And to do that with yourself, you need to sort out what divides you and what brings you together, what promotes oneness and inclusion, and what creates diversity and exclusion. And that's a process. It's a lifelong process for most of us, because there's so much that we have been told and taught that we have in our subconscious and unconscious unless we have meditated long enough and hard enough and earnest enough to see what kind of stories we hold on to, what assumptions we still hold on to. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. It's a play of going through your life, um, witnessing the stories that you've told yourself, what assumptions still have a hold on you, and what surprises you when something presents itself that's contrary to those assumptions. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And I hope that you got something out of this that's worthwhile for you. So that's it for today. I'll be back again sometime towards the end of August, early September. We have a program coming up, so I will not be here next Monday. It'll be about 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now. But we'll let you know when it's going to happen. So until then, I bid you adieu, and I thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you get something out of this that's worthwhile for you. Thank you.